Well, it's that time of the week, ladies and gentlemen, once again, where we take a look at one of the best sim racing series going in the world. Welcome, one and all, to the SimNews.TV Formula Sim Racing World Championship pre-show. Yep, that's right. We're going to be looking at the fantastic race that we've got ahead, coming from the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. I'm Joshua Anderson, and Argo Teder on cameras as ever for this one. And wow, the Teams Championship might be decided, the Drivers Championship might be decided, but who says we can't have a little bit of fun in these last two races to wind the season off with? And it has been a great season as well. Obviously, our champions in the teams being Musto Racing, and in the drivers being more Patel. That's all done and dusted now. Nothing can stop that. But in the meantime, all the other drivers and teams have got positions to jockey for, and I'm sure we'll have a couple of entertaining races left in this season. Of course, if you would like to join us, do hop onto the Formula Sim Racing Discord and just hop in the SimNews.TV channel, and we'd be more than happy to have a chat with you about the upcoming race ahead. For now, though, let's have a look at the Drivers' Championship standings as we go into this round here at the Circuit of the Americas. So, Mo Patel, our champion-elect, on 266 points. Nothing can be done about that now. Jenna Simic can't gain enough points in the season to overhaul him. Therefore, Mohamed Patel clinches the championship. But Simic on 199 will want to affirm that second place and hold off Martin Gosby, who's in third place on 168 points. Fourth place is Daniel Kiss on 127, who himself is embroiled in a battle for fourth with Michi Hoyer of Germany. He's on 116 points, followed by Michele D'Alessandro on 92 in sixth place. Martin Stefanko is in seventh for Rfactor2 Racing, and then it's the Italian Eros Masciuli on 57 points for Thrustmaster Twister Racing. Lars Brugman is ninth for Stormcharge Vodbull Racing, and then Florian Becker for Flak to Flap Brame GP rounds out the top 10 in the Drivers' Championship. Of course, 2 rounds to go. Patel cannot be overhauled at the top of the title run now, but you've got the likes of Simic trying to hold off Gosby. You've got the likes of Stefanko holding off Masciuli. Brugman and Becker separated by 1 point. So there is a lot of battles going on in the Drivers' Championship yet to be sorted. Moving on to the teams now. Musto Racing untouchable at the top of the Teams Championship. 395 points coming into this round. Nothing can overhaul them at the top of the standings, so they will walk out of this season as Teams Champions. Black to Flap Bryn GP's season is far from over. They're embroiled in a battle with Go Speed Racing Team. Just 6 points separate the two. 222 for Flag to Flag and 216 for Go Speed. So they have got to watch their backs if they want to try and hold second place to Flag to Flag. Fourth place is Rfactor2 Racing, the American outfit, on 189 points going into this round. And they're embroiled in a battle with Twister Racing on 149. So 40 points separating the two teams, and Twister Racing will want to make a big push in these last two races to try and get fourth. Stormcharge Vodbull Racing decidedly in the middle of the table here on 69 points. Possibly going to try and consolidate that over Netrex, who are in seventh. Just 15 to 7. They're not far behind at all. They're only 17 points behind. And Go Speed Engineering just 5 behind those in 8th place. Invictus Motorsports are in 9th of the standings on 31, ahead of Born to Win on 22. VB Madcap not in the championship anymore, but they're on 17 points, so it'll be up to Drillers Motorsport to try and depose them and get out of last in the standings, because they're on 4 points at the moment, and 14 points or more will secure them that 11th place. So yeah, obviously championship's decided now, but there are lots of battles left to go. Obviously Drillers and Madcap, VB Madcap, that's going to be the one, because Drillers just have to overhaul them now to get out of last. Born to Win, GS Engineering, and Invictus Motorsports near the bottom of the table. They'll be fighting it out as well. And of course, that battle for second with Flag to Flag Brame GP and Go Speed Racing Team. Of course, neither can win the championship now, but it's going to be all about trying to see who can get second. And given the dominance of Musto Racing this season, I think anyone could be happy with second place in such a competitive season as this has been. But, well, it has been a fantastic season to watch. And even though we've only come in about halfway through with the pre-show, it's been great previewing it and having a look at all the goings-on in the actual series as well as they unfold, and then sitting back and being able to watch the race. But yeah, this has been a great season so far, and this race here at the Circuit of the Americas looks to be a very interesting one as well. Of course, in Austin, Texas, the circuit, and, well, very famous between modern days. It's quite an important circuit because, you know, it's got a bit of everything, really. It's a mishmash of lots of great circuits in the world. It's one of the longer ones we have on the calendar, but it is a very big challenge indeed. And, well, some difficult corners here. You got this section at the start, which is left, right, and that is so difficult for weight transfer. And, well, such a difficult track to get right. And I'm looking at the server now. I'm looking at the free practice, and it looks like some drivers are on intermediate tyres too. So we're going to have damp conditions here in America. That could throw things up a bit. Of course, any race in the rain going to be difficult, but especially in these sort of damp, changeable conditions, this is where it can actually sometimes be the most difficult, you know? Because you've got this, it's not fully wet, but it's not fully dry. It's somewhere in the middle, and that can be the hardest to judge sometimes. Very difficult to get right. Of course, we're in the practice session now when the driver's just trying to get themselves used to these conditions. I think Journey Simicic is actually on the full wets here. So deciding that it's not time for intermediates just yet, but rather going to try and get some running in on the wet tyres in this session. And Simicic, of course, almost the champion this season, but hasn't quite got it. As we welcome our first guest on the show here, Risto Kappet, who joins us, obviously part of Stormcharge VOD Bull Racing. Great to have you with us, Risto, and, well, a pleasure to have you on the show once again. Quite a regular contributor to the show, actually. Just really, you know, now in these closing parts of the season, what are your thoughts going into this race? Oh, blimey! It seems like your microphone's not quite playing ball there, Risto. Just a lot of static coming through. If you want to just start saying something again there. Oh wait, no, he's fixing it. All right, well, never mind. We'll have Risto Kappet with us in a moment. Maybe his microphone's just not hooked up properly. I don't know, but we should have Risto Kappet back soon. But yes. As I was going to say, circuit of the Americas, very tricky circuit. Obviously, quite a long one as well. It's, you know, it's 3.47 miles, 5.5 kilometers, and, well, you can expect an average lap time around here to be in the 43s in the wet, as we're seeing in the practice. You know, current fastest lap time in this session is a 43.8 by Luke Maguire. And, well, I think we have Risto Kappet back with us now. Hello, Risto.
Test 1, 2.
Yep, that's more than that's working now. That's brilliant. We were just saying before, Risto, what's your thoughts, you know, now the season's coming to an end, the championship's being decided. From your perspective as a midfield team and a driver who just wants to get more points in this season, what are your thoughts going into this one? Surely now the championships are over, you know, for your case in Stormcharge, VOD Bull Racing, it's just going to be trying to defend it from the teams behind.
Yeah, do that and try to get myself higher in the team standings. I'm quite low there, so yeah, just to earn every point from the race and try to finish as high as possible. It's just race by race now.
Yeah, just take it race by race. There's only 2 rounds left in the championship. This is round 15 and the final round, Brazil, is round 16. So, you know, you're on 19 points at the moment in the standings, joint 13th with Kamil Lesva and James Sadler. Obviously, hoping to get yourself further up the order, maybe challenge the likes of Dan Brew and Sander Callis going further ahead. But yeah, you know, we can just take it a bit easier now. And, well, it's going to be interesting to see how this goes and see how, you know, the rest of the season goes for you. And how has it been for you, like this season as a whole then? You know, now we're in the closing stages of it.
It's been bad. Most of the races in the early season, there wasn't enough practice in, and I barely gotten any points. But just after the summer break, there have been some good races. Unfortunately, most of the points have been disqualified from, but yeah, it's okay. Now I'm enjoying it. But the racing has always been fun. But the whole season is just a matter of having fun and racing.
Yeah, really, just, you know, Formula SimRacing as well to come in, it was a very difficult championship, especially the World Championship, even for someone as talented as yourself. You know, the level of competition you have here, the likes of Kamil as well, Luke Maguire, Martin Stefanko, Bojack Lugzek, Journey Simicic, Mitchy Hoyer, you know, these guys at the top of the fracture session at the know, and these are really top competitors.
Yep, that's the main thing, to see how I can fare against them, and some races I have done good, so, you know, very good experience. So I will be happy to see all of this today as well.
Yeah, I really just got to see how it goes ultimately. And, well, obviously looking forward to the future as well. Are we expecting to see you back in 2018, Risto? And maybe why don't you launch a bit more of a challenge on the championship contenders? Because I know you've probably got enough talent to carry it with the best of them, like Patel and Gosby and Kiss anyway. So, you know, will we see you back in 2018?
I cannot tell you that. I can only say that maybe this year and before I probably turn too many leagues at one time. So in the future I definitely want to actually do very good, but maybe 1 or maximum 2 leagues. But I will still be driving somewhere, so it will be announced sometime for sure, but not now.
Yeah, well, it's you know, even if we don't see you next year, it's been brilliant to have you along with us this year and see you along and have a go in the races. And it's been great having you in Formula SimRacing because you are such a talented driver as well. Thank you, Risto Kappet, for your time, and good luck for the next 2 races in the championship.
Thank you. I would go to practice, but for some strange reason it's wet again, although there is no weather forecast, so there's no point to go drive on a drying track now. It's drying up more and more, so probably the race itself will be dry, but with a wet offline, so you cannot overtake, so it's a bit weird. I'll just be sitting garage for now, waiting until it's properly dry, and then it's qualifying already. But yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird scenario, really, when it just starts raining like that. And, you know, it's like you have a wet practice session, then it's dry by qualifying. And, well, I'm sure Risto Kappet's going to be very interested to see how this is going to turn out. But thanks for joining us again, Risto. That is a bit of an interesting scenario that we have then, you know, with the rain that we have off the track, because, you know, it's going to make the practice session a little more difficult for the drivers. Obviously, we're expecting future sessions to be dry, but a bit of rain in qualifying, perhaps, you know, maybe not in qualifying per se, but in practice, a bit of rain in practice, you know, just throws it up a bit, makes the drivers do a bit more prep in qualifying, almost makes it more like a practice session. You know, because, you know, that if this is the official free practice session we're in now, and it's raining in it, it's not going to be much use for totally dry qualifying. So kind of throws it up the ball, kind of throws them off the ball a bit, which is why you got to be focused. Very interesting stuff, but it seems like the drivers are handling it well enough. Camille Lisra improving on his lap, as is Wojciech Lukaszek and Luke Maguire. In fact, the latter two of those are actually both at purple sectors. And Lukaszek has actually just gone fastest overall with a 1:41.7, so you can see the track is drying. And while I assume it'll be fully dry for qualifying then when that comes around, but you know, Liza and Stefanko as well, definitely giving it all they've got as well, and just trying to improve on their lap times as the track starts to dry out. I assume more people will jump on as it starts to dry out, because that's going to be closer to actual qualifying conditions as well. In these sort of like damp, muggy conditions, or this can sometimes, as I was saying before, be a bit more challenging, because, you know, it's just, it's that more difficult because you don't know whether it's dry enough for slicks or wet enough for something else. But I just it's a bit weird. It's difficult, but it can definitely be a difficult thing to deal with. And, you know, it kind of shows the quality of the drivers that they can deal with that, and just really good to see how this goes. And, you know, it can be difficult to say, but a lot of the drivers, I think, now are jumping on the slicks. I see Michael Ayres, Florian Becker, Risto Kappet, Sander Kallis all on the slick tyres at the moment. So they're deciding that there's enough of a dry line to go out and venture onto the slick tyres. Of course, the track will be green at this point because there's just been lots of rain, so there won't be as much grip as they'd like. So they have to treat it even now with a fair bit of caution. They have to be a bit more difficult with that in that sense, and really just have to be careful with how they're going, because otherwise, you know, it's going to be, like you see, even the Sander Kallis has proven you can slip around a bit with this green track on the slick tyres, even though there might be more grip there. And, you know, you've got the green track offline, you've got the dampness of it all. It is difficult conditions as well. We welcome our next guest, and it's none other than our champion-elect, Mohammed Patel, which is a fantastic bit of news because we've been wanting to get more on the show for quite some time. Welcome to the pre-show, Mohammed, and firstly, congratulations on the championship as well. At this point, untouchable on the championship, no one can take that away from you, so you can really just surely go into these two races with a bit more ease.
Thanks for that. I can't actually race today for multiple reasons. I'm just overworked with university stuff, so I've been prioritizing on that for the last couple of days, so I haven't really had the chance to prepare for this race. So I decided, rather than make a fool of myself, to sit it out for this one, and hopefully I can prepare for Brazil in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, we all have, some of us really do have busy lives, you know, and well, you've been very busy obviously with that, and also winning the championship, which, you know, again, I believe first English driver to win the championship was also a bit of history for you.
Yeah, but it's not something that you really think of, or you see in the forefront of your mind. I think Ron told me after the last race that was the case, which is a nice thing, but it is what it is. Nothing more than that, to be honest.
Yeah, you know, it's just, ultimately, you gotta argue, it is just a statistic, but still, you know, no one can take away from the fact that you are the champion at this point. You know, you've clinched it with 2 to go. it's really just has been your season. Obviously, loads of strings of wins at the start of it as well. You know, getting that good start of the season really helped you in that sense. And your team, Musto Racing, have clinched the Teams Championship as well, so double success for you.
Yeah, it's what we aimed to do at the start of the season. And to be honest, myself and Danny, I'm a bit disappointed for him that he struggled initially with some bad luck in the start of the season, because it's his final year of this in FSR, so it would have been nice for us both to fight for the championship. But at least the team got the job done, and in drivers, one of us did it. So that's what we aimed to achieve all those months ago, and we have finally done it. So good stuff.
Yeah, indeed. And, you know, being champion now, you add your name to the list of previous FSR champions like Bono Heiss, Peter Burlak, Jerome Kriegel, the most recent champion as well. You know, some of the great sim racing drivers. And, you know, winning this championship, you've proved that you're up there with them. And that must be a big confidence booster for you going into the future for Formula Sim Racing, and possibly even for winning future championships.
I don't really pay attention to that, really. You just do your own job. And focus on yourself, try to get the best out of yourself. And it would be nice if Patel or Jeroen would have taken part this season, would have made the competition a bit harder, but you deal with what's up against you. And Yene, Martin and ACR had a good fight and made it difficult for us during the season. But yes, we'll see what happens in the future. And to be honest, we haven't really thought of that yet. So I'm not sure what I will do next year, where I will race, or if it's in FSI, in F1, or if it's in endurance racing. We'll see. It's too early to say.
Yeah, just, you know, it is a good thing to keep your options open like that. I know a lot of people who often, you know, are really successful in championships and don't know where they're going to go next year. It's always good to have an open mind like that. And, you know, maybe we will see in some sort of other discipline of racing, or maybe we'll be in FSR. And, well, it doesn't matter where you go. I'm sure whoever you come up against, they will have a very difficult time of it with someone as talented as yourself. Thank you for joining us, Mo Patel, our 2017 Formula Sim Racing World Champion.
Cheers.
Well, I'll tell you what, that is an interview and a half, isn't it? We got Mo Patel there, and what an interview. What a nice chap, really. It's lovely to have some of the... You see, this is the great thing about FSI. You get some of the top drivers here, and, you know, we get to have a nice casual chat with them before the race, you know, and it is a shame Mo can't race this race, but he should be back for Brazil, and hopefully he'll be back to give one of his more dominant performances there as well. So about 10 minutes to go in this practice session now until qualifying, and Wojciech Lukaszek seems to be going up on his time once again. Jenny Simicic has just improved as well, so everyone really reaffirming themselves as able to deal with these drying conditions and changeable conditions, and just really focusing on this, you know. This is kind of the point for the drivers where, you know, they're really going to be making these final tweaks. Of course, they'll have done a lot of practice beforehand, but it's really just a case of now getting yourself used to the conditions that you'll be going out in qualifying. That's really the case, and they're just going to be... It's that prep time, it's that crucial prep time. Sometimes it's official free practice that can change so much. You can learn so much more last-minute information, which you can then take into qualifying and use for your advantage, you know? So every single second you can practice as a driver counts, and... I'm sure all of these drivers have done lots of prior practice, but it's sometimes official pre-practice can change everything. So they've got to use this very wisely. I'm sure that's what they're going to be doing, of course. But, you know, Eros Mashuli as well, the likes of him, he's really been good in this practice session before. Could be on for a potential good result here. 8th in the Drivers' Championship, of course, coming at this round on 57 points. And see, someone I've commentated on before, very talented driver, and, you know, he's put himself right up there at the top of the standings straight off the bat here in FSR. So, you know, showing that, you know, regardless of what car he drives, he can really stick it up there with the top guys like Lars Brugman, Florian Beck, Armand Stefanko as well. So, one to watch, I think, definitely for this race, and, well, probably for next season as well if he's here. Very interesting circuit, though, as I was saying before the circuit in the Americas. So, you know, there's a lot of corners that are inspired by other corners. You know, you've got the long back straight as well. You've got the whole section in 3, 4, 5, 6 inspired by the Mackens and Beckett's complex at Silverstone. Then you got all the 7, 8 and 9 as well. I think turn 10 is actually a reverse mirror of turn 8 at Istanbul Park. Then you've got all the other really tight corners as well near the back end of the circuit, and then the 2 left-handers are 19 and 20. Very, very difficult to get right, and it is a tricky circuit here with quite a few elevation changes as well. A very unique circuit in that right, even though it borrows heavily from a lot of other circuits. It's quite the experience. As I see Risto Kappet, who we were talking to earlier, is going even faster. He's just set a personal best sector 1 and a purple sector 2. So the track must be drying out at this point, you know, really just getting there, and it's getting drier, so the drivers are able to get into more of a qualifying sort of mindset here. They can really start doing practice runs for that now and prepare themselves for the session ahead. And Kappet obviously is just, you know, really giving it the beans on these laps to try and drive the track out, and it looks actually pretty dry to me now. It doesn't look like there's much rain offline. It looks like it's just damp offline now. Obviously getting a bit squiggly, but he's going to have to wait for the track to rubber in before he gets maximum grip. And the car will be a bit twitchy while he's still struggling for grip on the green track because there's no rubber on it. It's all being washed away by the rain from before. So if they're going to get rubber on the track, they're all just going to have to go out on slicks. And at this point, there is nobody on the intermediates. And, well, you know, that's sensible because it's just too dry. It really is, you know, at this point, you'd have to be mad to be on the inters, you know, because if the dry line is that wide and there's enough room for overtaking and the offline's dry enough to manage, Stefanko finds it a bit difficult with the switch there. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting one to see if the track does dry out. So I think we should take this time just before the end of the free practice session just to go over the championship standings again, just for those who have just joined us. Obviously coming into this round, Patel, our champion-elect, nothing can change that now. He is on 266 points and nobody can catch him. And really is going to be the case of he's won the championship. Now who can get the closest, because he's not racing here as we know. But Janis Simicic, the next closest, on 199. He's got to defend from Martin Gosby, though, on 168 points. And, well, that's going to be an interesting battle for second in these last few races. Gosby versus Simicic. Daniel Kiss in fourth on 127. And Michi Hoyer in the top 5 on 116 points. Going to be battling for that top 4 place as well. Michele D'Alessandro 6th on 92 points. Martin Stefanko is 7th on 64. And then it's Eros Mishuli 8th on 57, as we mentioned, wanting to watch for this race. Lars Brugman 9th on 30, and Florian Beck are hoping to crack the top 9 and overhaul his Dutch competitor by the end of this season, just 1 point behind Brugman on 29 points. Moving to the teams, Musto Racing have won the team's championship, and that is a given now as well. With 395 points, they can't be caught, but the real battle is between second and third. Flag to flag, Brame GP and Go Speed Racing Team have got to be really careful with each other here. 222 points versus 216, only 6 points in it. So this could go either way by the end of the season with the 2 to go. Abbott Chronic Racing are 4th place in the championship on 189, followed by Twister Racing on 149, 40 points behind. Stormcharge Vodbull Racing are a bit further back on 69 points, and they're in a battle with Netrex Grand Prix on 52, followed by GS Engineering on 47 and Invictus Motorsport on 31. Born to Win are on 22 points in 10th place. And then at the back, VB Madcape, of course, not actively racing anymore because their license has been loaned to Drillers Motorsport, who will be hoping to overhaul VB Madcape's total. They're currently 13 points behind, which seems doable with two races to go. And of course, as you'll see in the comments there, if you're watching, we're actually going to be broadcasting qualifying as well today. So, you know, next week as well, we'll be covering the qualifying session here on SimNews.TV, and we'll be taking a look at who is where in the standings charts and who's doing what. Of course, I'll be able to keep you informed on sector times, who's moving and shaking, and who is going to walk out of this qualifying session on the pole position. Going to be very interesting to see how this goes, and, well, we'll see how this continues and who is going to get pole position, and I'm sure it will be a very interesting qualifying session. Of course, just a couple of minutes to go now in the practice, just 3 to go now until the end of the official practice session, and we are going to have a 5-minute break now before we do head into qualifying, just to set a couple of things up and prepare ourselves for the qualifying session ahead. So stay with us here on SimNews.TV, where we'll be having our qualifying session coming up in just a short while. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for qualifying coverage of the Formula Sim Racing World Championship here on SimNews.TV. Yet to get to for the price of one today. We're covering qualifying as well. Josh Randerson's still here on it, and yep, if you have just been watching the pre-show, you'll know exactly who I am. But if not, well, I'm getting to do quali, which is a great treat today because this is looking to be a fantastic qualifying session here at the Circuit of the Americas. And well, this could be a very good one indeed. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be a really, really good one. And, whew, well, qualifying for FSR. This could be interesting to see who's going to get pulled here. Of course, no more Patel, our current champion-elect. So it really is open to anyone who is going to take the pole here at the Circuit of the Americas. And I'm going to be intrigued to see who it is. I would have my eye on Martin Gosby, potentially. He could be one to have a go at it. Similarly, Jenny Simracing, who's been very impressive this season. But then you've got all the other drivers as well. Daniel Kiss, Michi Hoyer, any of those could be on pole position as well. As the drivers just start to make their way around the circuit, we'll see who exactly is going to be where on the track at each point as well. We'll see who's going to be the first to get a couple of first laps in. Of course, you know, in any qualifying session, the first laps are just preliminary anyway. They're not a fantastic indicator of who's going to be the fastest, but they can give you a guide, and that's what's the important thing. You know, they can give you a guide as to who's going to be quickest. So it's useful to have a look at the initial times. And when they do start coming through, of course, we'll see exactly who is going to be the benchmark for the rest of the drivers. But it is going to be an innocent qualifying session here. And, well, of course, 20 minutes of it, and then after that we'll go into the warm-up and the race, which unfortunately I don't think we will be broadcasting, and that will be handed over to the official FSR broadcast team. But yes, definitely going to be an interesting qualifying session coming up ahead, and well, as the times do come in, we'll keep you informed. I think it's going to be Michael Ayres, actually, who sets the first time, as I'm seeing. He's got the first sector time in, though Wojciech Lucas, like I said, a faster first sector. So it is going to be very closely packed as the first couple of drivers come through and set their initial times here. So we want to be keeping an eye on Michael Ayres, as he will be the benchmark for the rest of the drivers, as he will set the first time here. Looking at the hot laps, though, the top 10 that we've had so far, Luke Maguire, Jeffrey Fournier, Florian Becker are fastest on paper. So definitely keep an eye on them, especially Maguire, because coming into this round here, he could definitely be a surprise package. As well as that, obviously, you know, Jeffrey Fournier as well, driving in the VB Madcube car, but, you know, that's not an official entry per se. They're not competing in the championship anymore, but at least putting his foot down potentially for the future as to be hired as a driver. A lot of people doing that as well, but we'll have to keep an eye on the times here. I see Michael Ayres is coming around the last couple of corners now, so we'll need to keep an eye on him and see what time he sets. And, well, he will be the first driver to set a time in this qualifying session. And he'll see what we can do. He sets that time, a 1:36.8. And he is the first person to set that lap time. And everybody else will now have that in their minds as the time to beat. And they'll all be trying to get one over on him for that. Ayres, though, gets that crucial first time. And Risto Kappet follows it with a 1:37.1. So 3/10 down on Ayres, though he has a lot of time in that session to improve it. But it seems then that Ayres, for now, has set a very good lap time, and we'll have to see if anyone does improve on that. Jenny Simracing has set a 1:36.9, which is actually slightly slower, apparently, than the time than Ayres, though he's ahead in the timesheets for some reason. Giorgio Vallinaro has gone a 39.6 as well, so maybe a couple of problems for him on his lap, though. Martin Gosby set 2 purple sectors, so keep an eye on him as well. I assume he will probably be jumping to the top of the timesheets. Eros Mashuli pops in with a 37.5. And that is a decent time for Mashuli as well. Not far off the likes of Michael Ayres. Michi Hoyer has gone pole, though, on a 1:36.3. So that is the new fastest time set for Michi Hoyer now. And he has gone pole position with that time. It's all Hoyer at the moment then. Martin Gosby, though, well, just as we say this, he's gone to the top of the table. And, well, what a lap from him as well. He goes for a 1:36.2. So great stuff from Gosby there. Now he moves himself to the top of the table. I'm saying on the live broadcast, actually, that Journey Simic is actually on a 136 dead. It seems like the live timing app I'm using is unfortunately slightly bugged in that sense, so apologies for that. It is Journey Simic on pole. I thought it wasn't, but it is, and Simic is really the pole setter on a 136.0. So 0.087 there, so obviously missing something out here. But yeah, Simic is on pole position from Gosby at the moment. About 2 tenths ahead of Martin Gosby, so he needs to bypass that time if he wants to get pole position. Either way though, we'll see if there's anyone else who can overhaul Jenny Simic, because there is a lot of time in this qualifying session left to go. We're only about a quarter of the way through, so there is still plenty of time for people to go ahead in this session. I see Giorgio Valeriano was still in the pits, but Stefanko is on personal best as well. Stefanko could go quite high up the order. Wojciech Lukaszek has gone into the purples in Sector 1 as well, so good time for him in a personal best. Sector 2 now could put him on pole position temporarily at least. Going to put the pressure on, I'm sure, as is Martin Stefanko as soon as he completes his lap. But this is looking to be a very interesting couple of sectors from both drivers, and we'll see exactly who can get what throughout the rest of this session. Drivers, though, mostly on the route laps, they seem to be doing one lap and then stopping and going for another one. Wojciech Lukaszek has just done a 35.8 and jumped over Journey Simic there. So there you go. We have a new provisional pole sitter, and that is a fantastic lap from Lukaszek there to get that on straight off the board. And obviously all the drivers really just going around and doing their out laps. So we'll see a slew of times come in as soon as people start setting sectors again. And well, Florian Becker has gone green in Sector 1, as has Sander Callas. So these are all drivers setting personal best sectors, in some cases their first laps, but otherwise setting personal best sectors, so improvements on their previous. As I see Cameron Roger has not gone out yet, but Giorgio Valeriano has set a personal best sector as well. Though Roger has set a couple of laps, and his best is the 38.6, though he's not set one yet. Still down the back of the order. As I read this at the moment, Sander Callas, Camille Liswell, Luke Maguire and Jos Araneda yet to set times, but Araneda are going to be starting from the pit lane in this race anyway, so probably electing not to bother setting a time, though Sander Callas and Liswell are about to set times in this session, and Sander Callas has actually set personal best sectors again, though he's actually set a faster second sector than Lukaszek and a slightly slower first sector than Lukaszek, so I expect Callas will be right up there in terms of overall time. Eros Basciudi goes personal best as well, as does Becker, and Cameron Rogers sets a personal best first sector as well, so we can expect improvements if this continues from all those drivers. Callas and Valeriano and Becker all have green second sectors as well. Becker actually improves to a 36.8, so an improvement there, now 1 second off Lukaszek. And pole for Callas, 135.857. Just edges out Wojciech Lukaszek there to go pole position to Sander Callas. So the Estonian on provisional pole now with a purple last sector. Keep an eye on Eros Basciudi as well, due an improvement per both green first and second sectors. He improves, should improve as Risto Kappet does, to a 36.4. We're expecting improvements for him and Cameron Roger here, so do keep an eye out for their lap times as they come in. Callas, though, with that fantastic lap to go pole, and while proving that he is not going to be taken lightly this race, Sander Callas just to be as feared as anyone else here at the Circuit of the Americas. Cameron Roger, though, as we say, improving. Purple second sector for Michi Hoyer. That first sector wasn't fantastic, but it was faster than Roger's first sector, and so he could be on for a fast lap here if he can get a good second sector as well. Could Michi Hoyer? Do keep an eye out for him on his lap as well. This is going to be an interesting one to see if he can improve coming around the last couple of corners on the track as well. So we'll see exactly how Hoyer does here. And he should improve on his time at the bare minimum, if not get closer to the likes of Simic and Lukaszek. So this could be a good time. Michi Hoyer does in fact go 4th on the 36.0 with a personal best last sector. And you feel if he hadn't had such a bad first sector, that could have been a pole time from the German. So perhaps putting out a bit of a message here is indeed Mitchy Hoyer doing for Avid Chronic Racing, of course. But, you know, 10 minutes to go in this session. We are halfway through. Martin Stefanko, purple sector 1. An improvement again from Stefanko. So it really is anyone's game coming into this qualifying session now. We're about halfway through and I've got no idea who's going to take it. The top 10 within a second of each other at the moment. That's an average of 1 car per 10th of a second. That's how close it is here in the World Championship sometimes. You really can get such close qualifying sessions indeed. You never quite know who's going to pull out a couple of extra tenths and go fastest. And, well, Martin Stefanko, I'm sure he thinks he will. Sander Kallas improves on his personal best first sector as well. So possibly an improvement from the Estonian there. Decent second sector from Stefanko, but I don't think this is going to be a pole time because I just don't think it's going to be enough. It's only slightly off the best one overall, but still, that only slightly could be the kicker. Simicic sets a personal best first sector as well. So another one to potentially keep an eye on. James Sadler has actually gone faster than Sander Kallas in that first sector and almost matched Martin Stefanko's purple first sector as well. So if he can keep this up, James Sadler could be one as well. Martin Gosby sets a purple second sector, though he didn't have a very good first. But pole for Stefanko. It is pole on a 1:35.842, just edges ahead of Sander Kallas. Despite that second sector not quite being up to scratch. And Martin Gosby as well has set a purple sector too, so he could be one to watch out for. And green sectors all round for Simicic and Kallas too. So this is definitely heating up to be an interesting qualifying session as well. We'll have to see exactly what goes on. Lukaszek is going to start a new lap as well. But Martin Gosby, potential pole position on for him here. He sets a 35.9. And it won't be pole, but it's very close. Sander Kallas improves to a 35.6. Raises the bar once again. Wojciech Lukaszek, though, going purple again. And Jenny Simicic, 35.2. Absolutely blitzes the pole time from Sander Kallas. Moves right ahead. That is a dominant move from Simicic there, and that could be crucial. Getting so much time in one lap. I thought he needed an improvement, and by Jove, he got one. So Jernej Simicic then taking the provisional pole with 7 to go in the session. Obviously, drivers will be thinking, you are not just going to get away with that. But really, though, that is a big improvement. 3 tenths over Kallas. Mind you, Wojciech Lukaszek, purple sector 1, green sector 2. He could be on for this, you know, if he can just have a good third sector. I'm imagining he needs about a 35.3 or a 35.4, matching Simicic's really time here to be in with it, though he can afford to be a couple of tenths down and still clinch pole by a tiny margin. I'm no Jernej Simicic. In fact, he has gone pole, 35.249. Lukaszek to pause the Simicic. And if you thought Jernej's lap was good, Wojciech Lukaszek has just gone one better. Nobody can predict possibly who's going to come out on top now. Just twists and turns all round. I bet Jernej Simicic probably thought he had that in the bag. I thought he almost did. And then Wojciech Lukaszek says, nope, not going to have it that easily. Risto Kappet as well improves to 35.8, 6 tenths off, but still a respectable time from Kappet. And further down the order, I see improvements for Florian Becker and Sergi Harris as well, so expect them to move further up the order too. But mostly at this point, it's going to be drivers doing outlaps, because it seems the common strategy is to do one outlap, one flying lap, pull off, and just go straight back into it. Don't bother trying to do 2 in a row. Keep the tyres at their prime and just go straight forward into another flying lap. Always use the best amount of grip on the tyres, and you know, there's not like there's any restrictions on the amount of tyres you can use, so they've got no reason not to. Harris improves to 36.5, which puts him ahead of Kamil Leisvar, Harley Hamnet and Florian Becker, who will all be hoping to get position back on Sergi. As we have just over 5 minutes to go in this qualifying session right now, and indeed it is a goal speed 1-2 as it stands. And Matt Houston in the comments saying Lukaszek dominated the pro race, so expect him to be up there. Well, he's on pole at the moment. And, well, he can't get any more up there than that for Goal Speed Motorsports. And, well, driving the car that's normally driven by Anna Maguire, stepping in from now, and Jene Simoncic going to be very close second at the moment, right on the pace of Simoncic's Wojciech. Really could be one to look forward to the future, but Sander Kallas has got something to say about all this. Purple Sector 2 and a green Sector 1 from the Estonian. He's not done yet. This could be an even faster time. He's going to need to be bang on that last sector, though. He cannot afford a single inch of complacency here. He needs to be absolutely on it if he's going to get this pole position to Sander Kallas. And we'll have to see if he is going to get it. Can Kallas get pole position then? Yes, he can! 35.1. He goes a whole tenth faster than Lukaszek. And the screw has been turned another rotation. As if that 35.2 wasn't good enough, we get a 35.1. Simoncic set to purple second sector as well. And he needs another purple second sector if he's going to go pole again. But I would not put it past any of these drivers to see a sub 35 by the end of this session. This could be a sub 135 pole time indeed if the rate continues as well it has. Stefanko's just improved to a 35.5, put himself up, but I believe, yep, the Gosby improved there. Martin Gosby now goes 5th place on a 35.6, so just behind Martin Stefanko. And Simoncic does not go pole, but a 35.2 is a new personal best, just 0.003 of a second behind Lukaszek. That's how close he got there. And if not for that first sector, that could have been a pole time. Improvements all round for Michi Hoyer, though no purple sectors. I imagine he's going to be within a couple of tenths of the pole. And he goes 4th, in fact, on the 35.2. Just edges himself behind Jene Simoncic there. And again, it's going to be a close one for these top few drivers. Again, the top 9 within a second. And just this gap between the top 4, just 2 tenths in it between the top 4. That is amazing. Really is nothing in it in this qualifying session. And, well, as I said, I've still got no better idea as to who's going to come out as the pole sitter. But there are only going to probably be about 1 or 2 more laps for these drivers now. So this is crunch time right here. This is where the pole is going to be decided. And we've been told that Lukaszek did a 134 in pro, so it wouldn't be impossible then, according to Matt Hewson, for it to go faster again. The benchmark and the precedent have been set then by Lukaszek to do a sub 34. Sub 35 going into the 34s, but, well, honestly, with the rate he's been going, I wouldn't put it past him to do a sub 34 in absolute maximum sprint trim, but yeah, this looking good for Sander Kallas at the moment. Only going to be 1 more lap in it for most of these drivers. And this is going to be crunch time, really. This is going to be the big one. The final lap they are going to get. Their last chance for pole position. And, well, this will be the deciding lap. I tell you this, for it to be this close after this long and still not have any idea who's going to walk out of pole, it's just a brilliant feeling that gets you really excited because you can't predict it. Any one of these top 4, maybe even someone in the top 8 could walk out if they get a significant improvement and find a lot of time. But I literally could not call it if you asked us who was going to get pole position. And of course, in qualifying sessions of our lifetime, but I literally could not tell you who's going to get pole here. As the drivers are starting the final lap now, this is going to be the decider. We're going to have to keep an eye on Lukaszek as he's going to be one of the first to set that time, and he'll give a benchmark to the rest of the drivers. Risto Kappet going to be looking at one of the earlier ones as well. Jene Simoncic will be about 3rd, Michi Hoyer 4th, and then I expect Stefanko would be 5th in line, then Gosby 6th. So we'll see a lot of these top enders come along at once. We'll have to see exactly how he goes, though. Robin Pansar says in the comments, no slipstream for him on the straight now, though, and the track is not rubbered in enough. I assume that's to see him get a 134, and it will be difficult because that was a great lap by Sander Kallas. Sergi Harris, in fact, has improved to a 136.0, though I assume he might be going for 1 more run in this qualifying session. Though really, it's Wojciech Lukaszek we're looking at, and it's not a fantastic first sector. It's equal to Sergi Harris's first at 20.194. In fact, Risto Kappet went faster, so it's not looking great, but his second and third sectors might be good enough to help him redeem that. In fact, that second sector is a 39.4 personal best, so there is room for slight improvement, but he's going to need a great third sector to overhaul Sander Kallas. Jene Simičić and Michi Hoyer also got personal best sectors, but they're not purple. They're going to need to really reel in the time in sectors 2 and 3 here. Otherwise, they are not going to be on pole position. Sander Kallas himself has got cause for concern because that's a 20.15 in his first sector, and Jene Simičić went 600ths quicker. Again, he'll need a good second and third sector. He's going to need to push hard towards the end here rather than do anything else. Lukasek has not even improved on his time, and Jene Simičić has gone purple in sector 2. This could be Simicic's pole still, and we could see a sub 35 if we are incredibly lucky. Purple, we have personal best for Stefanko as well in sector 2, so a good third sector could put him up there as well. Suddenly, Lukasek not looking as good. Purple sector 2 for Kallas as well. A whole 0.15 seconds faster than Lukasek in that second sector, and faster than Simicic as well. And I think with a good enough third sector, he can go pole. It's going to all come at once, I feel, these times. Simicic doesn't sub 35. He does a 34.9. I thought we would see one, and we have. Simicic then, 34.9. Stefanko slots in on a 35.1 just behind him. So smart Stefanko has not done enough there to improve on that time and get pole position. So a couple of other drivers have to go. Kallas only does a 35.1 as well. No improvement from the Estonian. That last sector got him, and that is what has caused that. And I think that is the end of the session. And Jene Simičić pips it at the last moment to do a 34.9. A sub 35 has been completed, as I thought there would be. And it is courtesy of Jene Simičić. Great qualifying lap from him. And brilliant statement made to everybody else on the grid, saying that I can do what nobody else can. So there you have it. Jene Simičić, pole position for the race here at the Circuit of the Americas as we move into the official warm-up session. And, well, what a session it has been. And, well, fantastic lap from Jene Simičić to get that pole position. And if you do want to see if Jene can convert that into the win, well, you'll have to catch up on the official broadcast, because that, I think, is your lot, unfortunately, from SimNews.TV to today. But I would like to thank Argo Teder for the camera work that he's done, a brilliant job of it. And, of course, to everyone who joined us in the booth for chat, including Risto Kappet and Patel, our champion. But from me, Josh Anderson, that is it for today. And do be sure to tune into the official live broadcast on the Formula Sim Racing YouTube channel to see if Jene Simičić can convert that pole into a win. But for me and everyone here at SimNews.TV, for now, until the next race, it is goodbye.